Good morning. Y'all are about as perky today as you probably were yesterday. Dadgum. Quietest it's ever been. I don't understand. Y'all bow with me. Gracious Heavenly Father, here we are again asking you to forgive us. Let us see if we can live our lives like Paul tells us to, and that we should try to live like Jesus. Let us remember that we can't. Let us say thank you for the mercy and grace that we get through the death of your Son, who forgives us of those sins. Lead, guide, and direct us. Help us be good folks. Let us do things that please you. In your Son's name I pray. Amen. Mr. Jaspers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, but I've been asked to wait until tomorrow.
Well, if you don't ask for it 3 times, you ain't going to get it anyway. That's okay. That's okay. Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today I bring you House Bill 74. It's under modified open, and it's the third one down. It's a very not very involved. It has to do with insurance. It's the risk-based capital trend test for insurers. This bill was revising it from 2.5 to 3.0, and it is going to make us in compliance with NAIC, and it will help us identify financially troubled insurance companies. Any questions?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Mr. Fleming. Get back.
Yes, sir.
He waves, never mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Carson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I bring to you House Bill 92 under modified open rule. What this basically does, and includes just a few words to put single car policies and multiple car policies at parity in the non-renewal statute in Title 33. Basically, we would treat single car policies the same as we would multiple car policies. It's brought to us, Chairman Willard, from industry, whereas, for example, an insurer like Nationwide, Liberty, Allstate, or others in the P&C business for auto, they would treat multiple cars as one policy, whereas another insurance company would treat each individual policy for each individual vehicle separately. It's a technical cleanup in the non-renewal statute.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't find it. Okay. All right. Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I bring before you HB 40, which is the second one down under modified open. It's the dog bite bill that would allow a dog bite victim to gain access to important information so they can treat their wound appropriately.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Class, if you've got one, mash your button. Mr. Smith.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 127, it's an insurance bill. This bill is an antiquated, or correct an antiquated process that we've got in the insurance code. It relates to 33-18 and 33-19. We're repeal or remove those chapters out of the insurance code, because it related to 18 was Blue Cross and then 19 was Blue Shield. Those two separate entities no longer exist. Mr. Earhart.
Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Smith? Okay. Mr. Earhart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 37, the Sanctuary Campus Bill. Just says you must follow law or the state funds won't follow you.
Good bill. No questions. Mr. Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask for HB 39. Real Estate Commission has requested this bill, gives them latitude in how to dispense infractions on those. Current law says that if they don't report an arrest and conviction, that they're immediately suspended and revoked from their license. And this gives the Real Estate Commission leeway on these types of crimes and convictions, both of the appraisers and the real estate professionals.
No questions. Mr. Willard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is House Bill 75, and let me give some background to the committee members. This came to me through DFACS, and the issue arose out of the death of a child in North Georgia. The death of that child has I think a step-parent involved as far as being accused of possible criminal conduct that brought about the death of the child. And the prosecuting attorneys and investigators were concerned and wanted to be able to tell DFACS of the issues, and or the DFACS would then take steps necessary to protect the other children. The person who was accused of this crime became aware, I guess, of the fact that DFACS had this privileged information, and they filed an open records request and were able to obtain that record, to the really detriment of the investigators who were looking into it. This is to bring about the ability that if a prosecuting attorney or investigators share information with DFACS of an ongoing situation as far as investigation relative to the care of children and DFACS needs, that information can remain confidential until the investigation is completed. So the public purpose in having that information maintained as confidential.
Any questions? No questions. Thank you. Mr. Hatchett.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask for HB 154, which is improving access to preventive dental care across our state.
Any questions of Mr. Hatchett? Everybody's all on the same page. We don't want to hope so. I want to be told absolutely for sure that everybody's on the same page. Mr. Jaspers, you change your mind, or you just like standing over there on the wall?
I had a moment. I had to have a little clarification, Mr. Chairman, but I would like to ask for House Bill 76 and the modified structure. It's the continuation of our work on the electronic recording of plats by surveyors in the clerk's office, and we have worked out all of our issues, I do believe, Mr. Chairman. I'm glad to answer any questions that I've already.
You want to ask any questions? No questions, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna set Wednesday's calendar. That's tomorrow. Under modified open, HB 39. Okay, I got moved. I didn't hear it say. Any opposed? It's on. Under modified open, HB 74. All those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Under modified open, HB 92. All those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? HB under modified open, HB 127. All those in favor signify by aye. It's on. Under modified structure, HB 76. All those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? It's was that 5? We'll let that be it. See you tomorrow.